Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of How to Lose the Weight. I'm your host, Holly Toscanini, here to guide you in redefining what it means to live fully, confidently, and unapologetically at any age. Today, I want to talk about something that happens every day, but especially around the holidays and family gatherings: handling unsolicited comments about our bodies or life choices. Whether it's a side eye at a family gathering, a coworker's helpful advice, or the stranger who just had to tell you about their miracle diet, fabulous new anti-aging product, or amazing life hack, these interactions can leave us feeling vulnerable, angry, or even ashamed. But here's the thing. Those comments don't define you. You have the power to take back control, set boundaries, and protect your peace. So today we're going to explore why people feel compelled to comment on your body or your lifestyle, and how to handle those comments with grace and dignity, and, just as importantly, how to manage the emotional toll these interactions can take. By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools to navigate these situations with confidence and a clear sense of self-worth. So grab your journal and get ready to take some notes. This one is for every woman who's ever felt the sting of someone else's judgment. Welcome to How to Lose the Weight, the podcast for women ready to stop waiting for someday and live life now. I'm your host, Holly Toscanini, and I'm here to help you break free from perfectionism, self-doubt, and the someday mindset. Together, we'll dive into real conversations about self-trust, empowerment, and living authentically. If you're ready to reconnect with your intuition and step into your power, you're in the right place. Let's lose the weight and start living fully right now. Hello, and welcome back to How to Lose the Weight. Now, before we dive into strategies, let's unpack why these negative, unsolicited comments happen in the first place. Understanding the motivations behind them can really help us approach these remarks with more clarity and less emotional weight. We have to begin by recognizing that our society is steeped in diet culture, which equates thinness with health, morality, and even success. From magazine covers to social media influencers, we're constantly bombarded with messages that tell us our bodies are projects that need to be perfected. And this belief system is so ingrained that many of us don't even question it. We simply see commenting on somebody else's weight or appearance or lifestyle as normal, or worse, of an act of care. Layered on top of this is the patriarchal lens, which objectifies women's bodies and choices and ties our value to our appearance and worth. Women, especially those of us over 40, often face an additional layer of scrutiny because society struggles to see us as valuable beyond our roles as caregivers or objects of beauty or desire. And let's face it, sometimes people truly believe they're being helpful. They might see commenting on your weight or eating habits or lifestyle as a way of showing concern for your health or well-being. But let's be real. Most of these concerns are rooted in stereotypes and a fundamental misunderstanding of what health and happiness look like. Here's the hard truth. When someone feels the need to critique or comment on your body, it often says more about them than it does about you. People who are insecure about their own appearance or choices, or whatever might be, they have internalized the same societal pressures that may project their anxieties onto other people. And finally, some people just don't have any awareness. They've never been taught that commenting on someone's body or lifestyle choices is intrusive or even inappropriate. For them, it's a learned behavior that they've just never questioned. It's critical to understand what happens to us emotionally when someone comments on our bodies or our choices. Even the most self-assured among us can feel unsettled by unsolicited opinions, and the effects can linger far beyond that initial interaction. And for many women, comments about our bodies act as a megaphone for internalized self-criticism. A single remark can spiral into thoughts like, God, maybe they're right, or why can't I get this under control? This internal dialogue can be exhausting, and it can erode our self-esteem over time. See, body comments in particular often carry an implicit message. You're not good enough. Whether it's intentional or not, they can reinforce feelings of shame or guilt about how we look, what we eat, or how we live. This is especially damaging for those of us that have spent years fighting to unlearn these harmful narratives. And research backs this up too. Studies in journals like Social and Clinical Psychology have shown that weight stigma and unsolicited advice contribute to increased stress, anxiety, and even symptoms of depression. And this isn't just about hurt feelings. This is a legitimate mental health concern. And repeated experiences of judgment can make us want to withdraw from social situations altogether. For instance, you might start avoiding family gatherings or skipping outings with friends, all to protect yourself from potential comments. And this can lead to a sense of isolation and disconnection from your family and your community. All right, now we've explored a little bit the roots and repercussions of unsolicited comments. I want to arm you with some practical tools to help navigate these situations with confidence. And I'm going to begin by talking about verbal boundaries, which are basically just the power to say no. See, the simplest way to shut down unwanted commentary is by clearly stating your boundary. And this doesn't have to be confrontational. In fact, the best boundaries are firm but calm. For example, you might say, "I'm not comfortable discussing my body. Let's focus on something else." Now, why does this work? Because it's direct and it leaves very little room for debate. Next is the polite deflection. If you want to avoid conflict, deflection is a powerful tool. See, by redirecting the conversation, you can protect your energy without escalating the situation. For example, you might say something in response to an unwanted comment like, "That's an interesting perspective. Anyway, did you hear about the latest Taylor Swift album?" Or whatever the new topic might be. Now, why does this work? Because it shifts the focus away from you and onto neutral ground. Now, third, and probably one of my favorite, is humor and wit. Sometimes a lighthearted response can diffuse the situation while still making it clear that the comment was unwelcome. For example, if someone says something you're not comfortable with, you might say, "Wow, thanks for the unsolicited advice. I'll file it under things I didn't ask for." Why this works? Because it asserts your boundary in a playful, non-aggressive way. And fourth, it's just the silent treatment. Silence can be golden. So if someone makes a comment, simply pause, look at them, and move on with the conversation without engaging. Now, why does this tactic work? Because it communicates that their comment did not warrant a response from you. And finally, you can just acknowledge intent without accepting any of the criticism attached to it. When you sense the person is coming from a place of misguided care, you can acknowledge their intent while still setting a boundary. For example, you might say something like, "I appreciate that you're concerned, but I'm handling my health in a way that works for me." Now, why does this work? Because it diffuses tension while maintaining your autonomy, and it's also still respectful if you're dealing with older people in your family or peers, people that are, like grandparents, people you don't want to offend, right? But even with the best strategies, unsolicited comments, they can linger in your mind. So here's how to nurture yourself after one of these events. First, my favorite, journal about it. Writing can be a powerful way to process your emotions. So reflect on what was said, how it made you feel, and why it bothered you. See, this exercise helps you untangle your emotions and reclaim your narrative. You could also try reframing the experience. Remind yourself that the comment says more about the other person than it does about you. And consider using affirmations like, "My body is not up for discussion," or "I am more than my appearance." Next, lean on your support system. So talk to a trusted friend, a partner, or a coach like me about the experience, because sharing your feelings with someone who understands can be incredibly validating. And finally, remember to engage in a little self-care. Take time to do something that makes you feel good in your body, whether that's a walk, a warm bath, or heck, dancing around in your kitchen or living room. Reconnect with yourself in a way that feels nourishing. All right, so I want to go a little bit deeper, and let's just take a look at some real-life scenarios and how you might handle them with grace and confidence. I'm going to start with family gatherings. It's the holiday season, so many of you are probably, maybe even dreading these family gatherings a little bit, because you don't want to deal with people's stuff, right? So let's say your Aunt Karen comments on your second helping at dinner. Your response could be, "Thanks for noticing, Aunt Karen. The lasagna is amazing. By the way, how's your garden coming along?" Why does this work? Remember, it acknowledges her comment without engaging. It redirects the conversation. Or what happens if you're at work and you're in the lunchroom and a coworker says something like, "Oh, are you really eating that?" Your response could be, "Yes, I am. Thanks for your input, but let's keep the conversation work-related, shall we?" Why it works? Because it sets a professional boundary without escalating the conversation. Or this might happen more than ever right now is social media. Let's say you post something on your social media account and someone comments on your photo with something negative or maybe some unsolicited advice. Your response could be, "Thank you for your concern, but my body isn't up for discussion. If you can't respect that, this may not be the space for you." Or another response could be just to simply block and delete. Now, why both of these options work is because they assert your boundaries and leave zero room for further debate. And finally, public spaces. This one's a little harder. So let's say a stranger, let's say at the gym, maybe offers you a little unsolicited diet advice while you're just trying to get in a workout. Your response could be, "I didn't ask for advice, but thanks anyway." Why does this work? It's polite but firm, and it signals the conversation is over. Owning your power in the face of these unsolicited comments and remarks is about so much more than crafting the perfect comeback or setting a firm boundary. It's about stepping into a deeper understanding of your worth. It's about reclaiming agency over your body and your life and refusing to let external judgments dictate how you feel about yourself. At its core, handling unsolicited comments is an act of self-respect. It's a declaration. It says, "I'm in charge of my body, my choices, and my life. No one else gets to define me or my worth." When you set a boundary, you're not just defending yourself in the moment. You're sending a broader message about what you will and will not tolerate, both to the person making the comment and to yourself. Setting boundaries is probably one of the most powerful tools you have. Think of boundaries as a personal security system. They let in the people and ideas that align with your values while keeping out the negativity, judgment, and unsolicited opinions that can harm your sense of self. Each time you establish and enforce a boundary, you're affirming your right to take up space and exist as you are without needing to justify yourself. You're reinforcing the truth that your body is your own and no one else has the authority to critique or comment on it. And here's where that sort of ripple effect really comes in. When you set a boundary or stand firm against unsolicited commentary, you're doing more than protecting yourself. You're disrupting a system that makes body shaming and unsolicited advice seem normal or acceptable. Society's norms around bodies have long dictated that it's okay or expected even to comment on a woman's appearance. I mean, women in particular are often seen as public property. Their bodies are open to scrutiny and discussion. But by refusing to engage in this cycle, you're challenging the narrative. When you calmly shut down a relative's comment about your weight at Thanksgiving, you're modeling for others, especially younger women and girls, that they don't have to tolerate similar treatment. And when you redirect a coworker who comments on your lunch, you're showing that professional spaces should remain free of personal judgments. And when you respond to a social media troll with confidence, or better yet, you don't respond at all, you're demonstrating that their opinion is irrelevant to your sense of purpose or worth. See, every time you push back, you're helping to rewrite the unspoken rules of engagement. You're paving the way for a culture that respects boundaries and values for women, who they are, not how they look. Owning your power is as much an internal process as it is an external one. It's about nurturing a relationship with yourself where your opinion carries more weight than anybody else's. And it simply requires 3 things: self-awareness, self-trust, and self-compassion. You see, self-awareness is all about understanding your values, your priorities, but also your triggers. I mean, what are your non-negotiables when it comes to comments about your body or your lifestyle choices? What makes you feel safe, respected, and whole? Self-trust is really about believing in your ability to navigate those uncomfortable situations. Even if you stumble or feel unsure, trust that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. And 3, self-compassion is it's recognizing that you're human and sometimes comments hurt, and while it's not okay, it's okay. Owning your power doesn't mean being bulletproof to pain. It means knowing how to care for yourself when it happens. Every act of owning your power, no matter how small, contributes to a quiet revolution. It's not about shouting, arguing, or proving a point to others. It's about living in alignment with your truth. When you protect your peace, you're not just standing up for yourself in the moment. You're cultivating a life where unsolicited comments lose their sting because you no longer depend on external validation to feel whole. See, you're creating that ripple effect that shows others, whether it's children, peers, friends, or even strangers, that there's another way to exist in the world. Owning your power means reclaiming your body as your own. It means taking back the narrative, silencing the noise, and living as the confident, intuitive, and unapologetic woman you were always meant to be. If today's episode resonated with you, it's probably time to take the next step in reclaiming your confidence and your intuition. My free ebook, Unlocking Your Intuition, 5 Keys to Reconnecting with Your Body, is designed to help you deepen your connection to yourself, trust your inner wisdom, and break free from the noise of society's expectations. In this empowering guide, you'll discover practical strategies to quiet the external chatter and tune in to what your body truly needs. You'll learn how to build self-trust and confidence in your decisions and to create a life that aligns with your authentic self. You can download your free copy today and start your journey toward a more intuitive, empowered way of living. Head to my website, hollytoscanini.com, or visit the show notes for this episode of How to Lose the Weight to download Unlocking Intuition, 5 Keys to Reconnecting with Your Body today. Now, as we wrap up this episode, I want to remind you that your body is your own, and you owe no one an explanation for how you look, who you love, or how you live. Now, if you found today's discussion helpful, share your thoughts on Instagram. Maybe use the hashtag #HowToLoseTheWeight. I'd love to hear how you're putting any of these strategies, or maybe all of them, into practice. And if you're ready to dive deeper into this journey, visit hollytoscanini.com to learn about how you can stop waiting and start living. Until next time, stay bold, stay confident, and most importantly, stay unapologetically you. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to How to Lose the Weight. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a conversation. And if you found value in this episode, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It really helps the show reach more women like you who are ready to step into their power. For more insights and inspiration, follow me on Instagram at Holly Toscanini or visit hollytoscanini.com. Until next time, remember, stop waiting and start living.